Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comedy Cellar Tuesdays with me, Dave Jusko, and Mike Suarez. So nice to see everybody on this chilly April afternoon here in New York City in the West Village. Beautiful Comedy Cellar upstairs podcast room. I will tell you that there is a lot of activity going on here at the Comedy Cellar as they are filming a big movie, as they ought to do sometimes, because this is the biggest comedy club in the country. It's the greatest comedy club in the country. And if you're making a movie about comedy and this person's supposed to be famous in comedy and you're not filming it here, you're not making a very good movie. So they're doing that downstairs, but we're up. They were kind enough to let us in because they know who I am. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jessica, we didn't mean to block the." Hello. Anyway, so of course we do this show to plug the great Comedy Cellar, and I will say all night. There's like 9 shows a night here. Now, one of the downstairs ones not happening tonight because they are filming the movie. But if you were here tonight, if you could make it to the West Village, and remember, this is a lineup that can happen on any random night, and that is the beauty of the Comedy Cellar. You would see Sam Morril and Dave Attell on the same show, Greg Rogel, Rachel Feinstein, these are all our friends, Keith Robinson, Yamanika Saunders, and Caitlin Palufo, all tonight here at the Comedy Cellar. That's just here in Vegas. Think about this. Our friend Little Danny Natterman will be there. And ironically, Mike, Dennis Regan.
Oh, wow.
Remember, we were talking about his brother, Brian Regan, last night. Whatever happened to Dennis Regan? Well, apparently he's at the Comedy Cellar in Vegas. I thought he had passed away, but apparently he's alive and well. And, of course, that's hosted by our friend Mark Coco Cohen in Las Vegas. So I highly recommend going to one of these or all of these rooms when you have the time. Now, let's talk about today. And first of all, let me just say hello to everybody in the chat room. Hello, Anonymous, a week late. Marcy, Barry, so nice to see everybody. We have a chat room and that is live. And obviously my guest tonight is our friend, Alon Altman, of course.
Hey, guys.
And he was kind enough to come in today. And then, yes, you just saw a shot of our other guest who just happened to be here. And I said, well, why don't you sit down with us? Rebecca Kaplan, who I just met only 5 minutes ago. But she seemed okay. I came in with guns blazing. I'm like, who the hell is this? And she seemed a little afraid at first, but then she seemed okay. And she's a comic as well. Alon knew her as soon as he walked in. He's like, oh, look who it is, Rebecca Kaplan.
Look who it is.
So you already know. Do you already play the Cellar and everything?
I don't.
But you will and want to.
I mean, want to and will are different things, but, fingers crossed.
Sure, of course you will. Well, you seem like a nice lady. And, well, Anonymous says Dave will let any girl on the show. That is not true. She just happened to be here. Why wouldn't we put her on? She seems okay. And she was dating a guy from my hometown around. So, but now but you're from Flushing. Flatbush. I get them mixed up. Where do you live now?
I still live in Flatbush.
What's the address? No, that, of course.
Well,
he's the actual real New York guy. I mean, you grew up in Brooklyn.
I am a 4th generation New Yorker.
Yeah.
Hey, same.
So that's what I was just going to say. Yeah. How about that? 4th generation. I think I'm a 1st generation. Like I'm saying,
yeah.
I'm as old as your great grandparents, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. You guys were school chums.
Yeah. I grew up in the tenements of Manhattan, and it was very poor when we grew up. When we had to go to school, we'd go in the snow. It was a 6-mile trip. It was nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing my family pickle stand on my sweater today.
Yeah, that's your real family?
Yeah.
That's your family?
Yeah.
Jay Greenfield and Sons.
That's right.
Are you making that up?
My mom's side of the Greenfields. And
really?
Clinton.
Like in the movie Crossing Delancey?
Yeah. So it was on Clinton and Rivington Street. And now it's a Mexican restaurant. But it was a pickle stand in a basement.
And a legendary pickle stand?
No, went out of business.
What was the pickle stand that guy from Animal House worked at in Crossing Delancey?
Gus's, maybe? I never saw Crossing Delancey, but Gus's was the famous one.
Oh.
And then Pickle Guys was an offshoot of Gus's, and that one's still around.
The Pickle Guys. I like the smell in there, but I'm not sure how much I feel about the pickles. A really good pickle, though, is outstanding.
Yeah. The thing is, when you go into a pickle place like that, they'll just give you a sample to eat right then.
Oh,
if
I
you're
like
not
that.
really in the mood to eat a pickle, and then you just feel like, well, now
It's
I got
making my mouth water.
Yeah.
Quit picking pickle places.
You want to eat some of Elon's pickle?
Hey,
How dare
hey,
you?
what
this
is
a
this?
clean
She
show.
is
Okay.
a comic.
This is
That's very impressive.
unbelievable.
Did you ever see Crossing Delancey?
No.
Yeah, I just saw it last year for the first time because everybody was like, "Oh, you got to see it," and then I wish I hadn't seen it. There's something disturbing about it, and yet I enjoyed it and I hated it at the same time.
Can you pinpoint what it was?
Yeah, it was the mother, and
Her name was
oh,
Rhoda.
Anonymous says, "I like this guest," and she is not talking about Alon.
Yeah. they know my name already, so you're this guest.
Thank you, Anon. I hope to earn you knowing my name.
Yeah, it was the mother in it. She was gross and her teeth fall out at one point, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this movie. I can't. I don't. I like watching pretty people.
Mhm.
I just watched Ant-Man for the first time yesterday.
The great Paul Rudd.
That's right. And that other girl in it, and they seem pretty, and they hook up at the end. Spoiler alert, but that movie is 11 years old or something, so I guess it's okay. And I'm like, no, this makes sense to me. Michael Douglas, who's still pretty, technically, who's married an extremely pretty girl.
Yeah.
I find that attractive in a motion picture.
She gave him cancer.
I know. I was trying not to go there.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. Howard Stern makes fun of it all the time. Anonymous says, "No Billy Joel parodies, please." Ah, now she's talking to you. So, yeah. So, Rebecca, we do a Billy Joel podcast together,
Okay.
Alon and I. It's called Billy Joel A to Z. So we did every song he's ever written or recorded and not even released, and then we got to Z, and now it's over. So this March Madness, did you see who won last night out of the college basketball? It's okay. I mean,
I'm only dimly aware of what college basketball is.
well, this is the time of the year where if anybody was following, you would know. So last night was the national championship, and it's called March Madness, and it has 64 teams or 68 teams at first.
Yeah.
And they had 64 teams, and it's really exciting. And everybody fills out brackets, including, well, when a normal president's in office, they'll usually fill out a bracket, and it's lots of fun. And everybody's bracket's busted by the first game, and it's super fun. And it's a good way to, talk to people on the street or whatever, your local grocer or something.
Yeah,
like,
if you don't follow it, you can talk about, I got this one right. I got
yeah, everybody plays. Nobody knows what's happening. So it came down then the first weekend. The next weekend later is the Sweet 16, and then it goes down to the Elite 8, and then Saturday was the Final Four out of 64 teams. Very exciting. Now, this is only like the first year. I mean, it's happened before, but all the number one teams made it to the Final Four. And so, yeah, it should happen all the time, but it doesn't. There's lots of upsets, and it wasn't that kind of year. And Florida ended up winning yesterday. That's not a spoiler alert. It's already happened yesterday. So,
yeah.
So
I didn't watch the game.
I watched some of it, and I missed all the endings where everybody came back. I was like, oh, this game's over. And then every time I did that, there 4 times this past 2 weekends, I was like, wait, they won? But that is college basketball in a nutshell. So Alon had the brilliant idea of making a Billy Joel bracket with 64 songs and going down, and the national championship was named yesterday, I believe, right?
Yeah.
We
our
coincided.
international champion, because we have voters from all over the world.
That's right. Now, Alon put a heck of a lot of work into this. I mean, it's very impressive, and compiled everything. Now, unfortunately, at the end of our podcast, as most of you know who watch Billy Joel, we made a rankings of all the 140 songs that we talked about.
Yeah, our personal rankings of
Right.
how we thought, from the worst song to the best song.
And my rankings are ridiculously stupid. They're not like anybody else's. So he took the average of our top 64 songs.
I averaged our rankings of every one of the 140 songs,
Oh.
and then whichever ones were the 64 highest based on average ranking
Oh, okay.
made it into our bracket, and all the other songs were left out of the bracket.
Right. So controversy right away, as Piano Man, which is the only song you knew right away, which everybody knows, was left out because I hate Piano Man and I put it at 100. So it didn't average out. So already people were very upset. But
I kind of prefer Uptown Girls.
so do I. but this guy doesn't seem to care for it.
But it still made it in because you had it as a top 10 song. So
It is a top 10 song. he leaves the arena with it every week. Every time he's performing, it's in the encore song. What's the matter with you?
Well, I had my weird ones too. I had Los Angelinos High.
That's not a weird one. Everybody's got one weird one. My leaving out Piano Man is the title story.
Partially my fault too, because I didn't have it super high on my ranking list, which is just barely missed.
But it's his fault too.
Yeah. I should have been the voice of reason and put it in the top 20. Then we would have been okay.
Well, I think it's kind of a mopey, annoying song, no?
Yes. Thank you. I mean, we're just done with it. It's just played too much, and we're just and it's like if you didn't do it at concert, I'd be fine with it, and I think a lot of other people would too. It's just we're just done. We've heard it, we get it. It's fun when you're out at a bar and you're all just drinking and swaying back and forth, but yeah, I'm done. Too many verses like Captain Jack,
which also didn't make our top 64.
Good.
There were a few hits that just did not get in there. But that's what's good is because it was about Billy Joel A to Z rankings that people were voting on. And they know, if they listen to our podcast, that we are really stupid and we make weird choices. And it's not the best 64 Billy Joel songs. It's the ones that we said were the best.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to work with.
Anonymous is totally on our side today. Which is never happens. She says, I'm also done with Piano Man and I love Uptown Girl.
Anonymous, you rock.
We don't even know who this person is. They don't give their name.
Well, she's been on the show so long. We kind of know who she is, I guess, just being anonymous. She's anonymous. We know she lives in Manhattan, which would be good for my guest next week, which I'll tell you at the end. Anyway, so Alon kept compiling. Everybody voted on Instagram. It was very exciting. He put so much work into it. He had the songs going. I don't know how you, as an old man, I have no idea how you did that, how you set up the voting. I was just working and I'm like, I don't know how he did any of I don't know how people have the buttons where you can press. And I'm like, how does he tally this?
Yeah. We're doing the voting in the Instagram story. So you just set up a poll and you have the
she gets it. Yeah. I'm like, he's some sort of magician or something. He put this together. It's supernatural.
Well, look, for 230 plus episodes, you edited every single week the episode completely. All I had to do is record with you. So you did all that work. I got to do a little bit of work.
We made a decision when we first started that I would do the editing, which I had no problem with, and you would do all the social media stuff as the younger lad. Because the only social media I do is promoting this show on Tuesdays, and it takes all my effort. I have to use my full lunch hour to post one story with captions on it. It really takes me at least 45 minutes. You saw the post.
You're a boomer,
I am. I missed it by a year. My nieces and nephew have been calling me boomer once they figured it out. I thought I was Gen X for sure, but apparently I'm 1 year removed.
You could probably find some website that says that you're within the group.
That's what I'd like to think. Just the way my mother always just like, oh, I'm sure we can find some website where I'm a Taurus.
Well, if you're a boomer Gen X cusp, are you like a Zoomer with an X?
Yes.
What does that mean? Are you coming up with a different name that I can call myself?
They call Gen Z cusps like Zillennials. I feel like if you're a Gen Z boomer cusp, you're like a Zoomer.
That's brilliant. She's all right.
Which is also what they call Gen Z people, right?
Yeah.
So you could pretend that you're like a 25-year-old.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant. I'm a Zoomer.
I didn't lie. I said I was a Zoomer.
Yeah.
On your Tinder profile,
God,
I'm a Zoomer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally using that from now on. Thank you. I'm going to shove it in my niece's face. That's great.
That sounds bad.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, that's what being a Zoomer is all about. What did I say? I didn't say it. You can't use the word colored people anymore. What's happening to this community? Sorry. That's still all me. Anyway. So anyway, Alon compiled all this stuff. And what were the final four? Because if I'm correct, was it all number one seeds that made it?
It was 3 number ones, and then one song that was a number 5 that probably should have been a number 1, but your rankings fucked it up completely.
Was it Miami 2017?
No, that got out in the Elite 8. There were some tough matchups. It lost to Moving Out. That was a tough one. It might have gone all the way. Who knows? But the final 4 was Moving Out, which is the number 1 seed. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, which is the number 1 seed.
Right.
Summer Highland Falls, which is a number 1 seed. And the number 5 seed that made it in was New York State of Mind.
Oh, wow. And so would you like to re-announce the winner?
Yes. So in the final 4, we had Moving Out going against Summer Highland Falls. Summer Highland Falls knocked off Moving Out in a pretty close matchup.
So the national championship was...
National championship. On the other side, we had for the final 4 Scenes from an Italian Restaurant versus New York State of Mind. It was a blowout. Everyone loved Scenes. And then in the championship game, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant took it all, beating Summer Highland Falls.
And then it was kind of a bummer because I'm like, well, that adds up.
That's what we would have expected.
Right.
It's the fan favorite, of course.
So you know what?
You know that song? Yeah. Everyone knows it.
And that's the thing. It's like, you people are so angry at me, but how boring is that? That Scenes from an Italian... Oh, what a surprise. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant won the Billy Joel Final 4. Whoa. You people ought to be thanking your stars that I say it like it is. And I'm like, screw Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. That should be number 2. Why did I make it? It's in the top 10, but I didn't make it. Did it make top 5?
Yeah, we both had it.
We were showing it respect.
Yeah, we showed it the respect.
We showed it respect, Rebecca.
That's why it was a number 1 seed. It was the second ranked number 1 seed overall. I think our number one was Moving Out, actually.
So I filled out my bracket, and Alana and I we're going to talk about this today. We have more to talk about Billy Joel later, but I filled out my bracket. I didn't give it, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to give it to you or not.
Yeah, I did it also, like a prediction bracket.
Yeah, and I'm so upset with my bracket. It didn't go the way I wanted to. I don't know why. I think I was trying to be polite. So anyway, we're doing a podcast on this. We don't know when we're free, and we'll talk about this.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're going to temporarily reboot Billy Joel A to Z.
Yeah, and I think next year we got to make a better bracket. Like maybe...
Oh, do it again, but based on... reality, like Piano Man makes it in,
exactly,
or do it with all of our bottom 64 songs only.
Oh God,
it's like December songs.
No, because I asked Gary Goldman, comedian, do you know him?
Yep.
And Alec Solkin from Family Guy, the showrunner from Family Guy, to fill out a bracket, and they were so angry that Piano Man wasn't out. They're like, screw this, I ain't doing it. They were like really mad about it. So
Alec had a really funny comment. He was like, rank all the best Beethoven music, but excluding the 9th.
I know he was very, very upset about it. It's funny that everybody was taking it that serious, but we did. And by
the way, the last thing I'll say on Billy Joel, the best thing about it was every day in the posts, I would use Twitter's AI Grok, which is what their AI is called. You can generate images. So I would say, so I created all these horrible basketball-related Billy Joel AI images.
I loved them.
Deformed and weird. They were funny. They were just so insane. That was fun just to see what would come up. I'll be like, draw Billy Joel fishing with LeBron James, and it would just be like them fishing. That's
incredible. That's a Twitter thing?
Yeah, it's like ChatGPT. It's Twitter's version.
Every time I do that, it doesn't come out the right way.
You have to know how to prompt it well,
I guess.
And you could like edit it, so it'll give you like one thing. You'll say like, draw Billy Joel dunking a basketball, and if you don't like it, you'd say, draw him jumping a little bit higher this time, and they'll do the same thing.
It doesn't work for me. What's it? It's just on Twitter?
Yeah.
Shit. I've been trying to use this for a long time, and it always comes out crappy.
I get special access because of my name.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So before we get to our fun time games, well, first of all, let me just ask you a question, Rebecca. Why comedy?
I'm too socially awkward to have normal conversations with people without joking.
Oh, good for you. See, I wish my niece would do comedy. She's so socially awkward, and all these people know this.
She's a real loser who became a dentist.
Yeah, exactly. She couldn't become an orthodontist because she's so socially awkward. She can't match with whatever you have to do to match to get into college.
Orthodontists, you got to talk to teenagers. They're scary. That's the worst.
That's peak awkward.
Yeah, can't do it.
So that's good that you, because I can tell you're socially awkward as soon as I meet you, that you're bringing into comedy. Now I kind of want to see your act. Who's your we had this conversation last week. We had Ryan DeCallis, do you know him on?
Yeah.
You know him? And we had Amanda Gale. So we're talking to Amanda Gale and we're saying, what got you into comedy? She doesn't have an answer. We're still not sure. We're still not sure why she does comedy. I asked her yesterday, what exactly is it that you do comedy? Is it just the social scene? Because that's why I do it. So what is your reasoning? She doesn't have an answer. Who'd you grow up on?
My dad was really into like weirder, like older stuff, so I like listened to a lot of like emo Phillips.
Sorry. When, when you said older stuff, I was going to be like, oh, like, just, but that's not that old for me.
I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
She's going to name one of your contemporaries
Yeah,
or
exactly,
someone
right.
younger than you. It's like this
Right,
really
right,
old
right.
comic emo Phillips.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that's great though, because she said her dad also, and it's so funny. I didn't get any of that from my parents at all. They suck. But who else? That's fascinating, emo Phillips.
Listen to some Rita Rudner DVDs.
And you liked her?
Yeah, I mean,
Really, you wanted to go into comedy because of Rita Rudner? I've never heard that before.
That's
It's
why her
fascinating.
jokes are dirty.
Are you dirty?
a little, yeah. I mean,
Oh,
pretty
that's
dirty.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I was like listening to her when I was like 5 or 6, so it's not like I had such a critical.
Yeah, no, that's great though.
through.
No, see, you have a good answer. That's really cool. What we did about Amanda. I'm pointing to where she was sitting.
I also like my dad listened to a lot of like the really old stuff, like
Right, be careful.
like Fred Allen and Gracie Burns.
Oh, that is really old. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I was just wondering what we both call really old. Then I thought she was going to say, like George Carlin and Bill Cosby, and it would be like, I could go with that. But then she went really old.
Yeah.
So that's even before my time. Thank God. There's something. But yeah, isn't that so? Last week we did a game where I showed the album covers, the album titles, and you had to guess who the person was.
A comedy album?
Yeah, comedy albums.
Did they get any of them right?
Yeah. Some like Murphy got a lot right, but I had but I had older ones like No Cure for Cancer. Do you know that one?
Tig Notaro.
No.
What? I was like, oh wait. Bald guy.
Nope.
Okay.
No, very handsome with a lot of hair. Well, a lot of hair. I don't know if handsome, but
A lot of hair.
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. I wouldn't have got that.
So Class Clown.
Oh, that's Carlin, right?
That's right, George Carlin. There you go. See, she knows them all.
Yeah, I could do the ones where their photo is on the album cover.
Well, I was just saying the title. Then we go to the album cover, because otherwise that's too easy. We had what's about what's the crap? The last one with the pony. What's the name of that album?
Stephen Wright.
Well, can I ask them to guess this?
I don't know the name of the album. I'm sorry.
Oh. I'm trying to think of something. How about Big Bamboo? It's a big album cover of Rolling Papers.
Cheech and Chong.
That's right. Yeah. These are like legendary. Let's Get Small.
That's Steve Martin.
Yeah. How about her? Huh? She's all right. Look at her coming in last minute, picking up the pace a little bit. I love interviewing young comics. I think it's fascinating. I'm always amazed. I like to have that. I mean. They always make fun of me for having, I like having girls on the show, yes. But I've also talked to boys.
We all assumed.
I like having everybody on. Anyway, I don't know whether you heard about this. Do you know the song Aerosmith Walk This Way?
Yes.
Do you know how they came up with the title and the song? I just found out today.
Now that you're saying it, I can guess.
They were.
Did you know?
No, I was thinking of a fake answer. They were watching Comic View BET. Like, why people walk like this?
Is it?
Why people walk like this?
Is it because of Monty Python?
No. No, it's even better.
Wild and Crazy Guys?
No, it's a line from a movie, a very famous comedy movie. That line, I knew exactly as soon as they said it. I'm like, oh my God, it's that line. So,
from Airplane?
What?
From Airplane?
No, way before.
Okay.
Not way before, but from 1974.
If I can walk that way.
I know because they said it's from 50 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Blazing Saddles?
I'm thinking Marx Brothers now. Sorry.
Next.
Blazing Saddles?
The next one.
Young Frankenstein?
Yes. Marty Feldman goes, walk this way. Remember? And then and then they walked that way. They got it from that. He went and then he saw the movie. They thought it was the funniest thing. And then he wrote one of the most famous songs. Well,
imagine they just used other Mel Brooks quotes as their song titles.
I'm trying to think of too many racist ones.
That's what I was thinking.
Barry had got it.
Barry got it. Yeah, watching Young Frankenstein. Yep, that's right. How about that? Also, we like to make fun of
the Jews.
Meghan Markle on this podcast.
We do?
Yes, because she's the worst. And it's just there's nothing more hilarious than her wanting to be out of the spotlight, and she just can't help herself but to be in it, just like they did that incredible South Park episode where they're like, leave us alone, her and her husband, and they have a marching band outside the house. They leave us alone. So that's the way I always picture. So she's got a new podcast because, people hated the other. Spotify wanted her out. So she got a new one because she's always going to get somebody's always going to pick it up. And it's called Confessions of a Female Founder. So I guess now she's concentrating on having other people pick up the pace, which I am always against. I mean, it's okay having guests on, but what were we going to say?
Honestly, starting a podcast is the best way I can think of to make everybody want to stop paying attention to you.
Yeah, exactly. So good point. But you had the founder of Bumble on the show, which is nice, I guess, as a woman. She has women on. And but then she just made it about herself. For some reason, the big story was that she suffers from postpartum depression from the baby. Like, what? I don't know how this is guest centric. And she's like, if my kid needs me, my office is always open. The kid's like 2. She's like just a horrible person.
But I can understand. Like her kid is royalty, and like they come out holding a saber. That's a painful birth. So.
Well done. But she's she's bad news.
So like her. I think she should have a show with Hilaria Baldwin. They
God,
put them together for their own reality show and let their husbands go fishing.
You're so right.
That's the way they want the attention. The husbands want to just not let people know that they kill people.
I can't believe. That's right. I can't believe Alec Baldwin said yes to that. That's got to be the last thing he would ever want to do, unless somebody said, "Since you murdered that girl, you should maybe think about doing a show where people see you in a different way." But I don't think it's working.
His lawyer's like, "Okay, I got you a good plea deal. All right, you're gonna plead guilty to manslaughter. No time served, but you have to do a stupid reality show with your wife."
That seems fair, actually. Because that's got to be annoying. I can't even imagine. I know there's people that want to be on camera all the time, but that would not be me. I would not. I don't know how the Kardashians live that way. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty annoying. Have you heard of that reality show, like Wild or whatever, where people just go off into the wilderness, film themselves surviving?
Yeah, I think isn't it
so many variations.
Yeah, isn't it called Wild in the Wilderness or something?
It's called like maybe... Into the Wild or something.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they're in Alaska?
I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like a group of people and they're surviving.
Everyone goes off like individually.
Okay, I watched one that was good where they're in Alaska. They kind of group up like groups of 3 or 4, and they have to survive in like Alaska. It's freezing. It's like Survivor, but in cold temperature.
I used to watch that Ice Road Truckers show, which I liked. Aunt Judy, I see you're going to Passover. I know you're going to Lori's. She's coming to New York City. They send a car for her.
Hi, Aunt Judy.
Aunt Judy's here.
Aunt Judy got that name because she's Dave's aunt.
Okay.
Yeah, she really is my aunt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Where are you guys
every week?
Do you Passover?
Well, she's going to New York City. My cousin is a billionaire, and apparently everybody gets invited but me. He owns the New Jersey Devils, so she gets to go that because her husband is that side. We've never been invited.
Can they get you a +1? Come on, Aunt Judy, get this guy in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that family doesn't care for me anymore.
They have the good mafia.
And his sister, who my aunt is going over, she created Birthright. So she's not so shabby herself and has a nice place and is getting them car service all the way up to the city, which is something my sister and I probably couldn't afford. So, but I go to my sister's, but my sister and I are fighting, so it's not a good time. What am I going to do? Now, last year I went over his place. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
His dad was trying to tell a little baby about Moses, and I'm like, this baby's not paying attention. He's spending all the time in the baby. It wasn't going around the room. It was getting on my nerves.
Dave wanted attention instead of my 2-year-old niece.
Yeah, I was really getting
very
upset.
jealous that he was getting no attention.
He was just talking to this 2-year-old niece.
You did need to be burped, so I get it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, didn't you have that no-name soda that it was the most delicious soda I ever had, wasn't it? What was it? Pineapple?
We have Dr. Thunder.
Yeah. It's like
it was definitely like a Sam's Club brand of
the worst
Dr. Pepper.
That you would expect if you weren't Jewish. You went over to somebody's house and you thought, it was like a knockoff of Dr. Pepper or whatever. And I couldn't get enough of it. So I think I did need to be burped after.
My dad doesn't drink soda anymore. Not a lot, but once in a while, like the supermarket will have a promotion where they'll give you like a free 2-liter bottle. So they'll kind of save it for a holiday and then bust it out. hoping that he can open it so that he could drink some of it.
And go
So
figure.
it's like old Dr. Thunder.
Your
that we have to
guest.
drink.
Well, I loved it, and after I left your house, I went looking for it online. So where's that Dr. Thunder at? Dr. Thunder, Mr. Pibb, and Dr. Pepper. I mean, what the fuck? Why did they name it that way?
Old Dr. Thunder sounds like a malt liquor from the 70s.
Yeah, well, it's probably why I liked it. It sounds like Schlitz beer or something like that. Anyway, after Florida won the national championship last night, the MVP guy, they were taking photos with the guy, this Walter Clayton Jr., and the mascot wouldn't leave. And he's like, "Come on, get out of here. I want to take a picture with my family." He's got a wife and kid. I'm like,
That's
what
so
the
weird.
fuck? That is too weird. When you win the college championship, you're like, "I want to take a picture with my wife and kid." How is the mascot to even be prepared for that?
But it's also kind of like nice and old fashioned because back in the 50s and 60s, these guys would get married at 20. They probably had wives and kids when they were in college.
I know, it's just weird. It's like, what is the point? I mean, you just won the national championship. You're in college. I mean, now's the time to go out and play. Like, hey, I just won let's go party. And he's like, oh, I have a 1-year-old. I can't. I'm 20.
Couldn't even find a babysitter for that one.
Yeah, right? I mean, I don't know. I got a problem with that. Your thoughts?
They're probably abandoning their kids for a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I would hire the mascot to watch the kid.
That mascot was like, all right. He's like, he's the Florida Gator.
Yeah, a giant stuffed gator is a perfect babysitter for the little kid. That would be
You're right.
True.
Yeah.
I know. It was
Or-
really weird.
Or take the baby. I mean, a baby can watch an orgy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have no memory.
Yeah.
Like, or do they?
Well, I don't know.
They have those suppressed
Yeah,
memories.
it
they
might
have
be
to go,
there
like,
in the
you know.
background.
Yeah, that's what happened to me.
You saw too many orgies.
I guess. I know something must have happened. I'm a mess.
No, not you.
But also speaking of being bad parents, there's a mayor of this town, a very small town near Philly in Jersey, and she got arrested for drunk driving while her 2-year-old was in the back seat. And it's really embarrassing. And her husband said, "Well, leave her alone. She's not a big city mayor."
Yeah.
That's his response to his wife driving drunk. And not just driving drunk, like have a couple of drinks. You go, she had a bottle of vodka in a water bottle. I mean, she was hammered.
Yeah. That's bad because she doesn't have the stress of a big city mayor, so she shouldn't have to get that drunk.
Exactly. And
She gets to get that.
yeah, and she's not resigning. And the town is like, what are you, crazy? Just resign. You're awful. And her name is, we definitely want to say Gina LaPlaca or something. You definitely want to call her out. And her husband was going to be a fire captain, but now that's all over. So she's ruined his career. And she was also caught on video calling a woman a skanky bitch, getting thrown out of a meeting.
I love this woman.
I know, it's kind of exciting, but it's just weird when, I mean, I know her husband's sticking up for her, but that's like, what an idiot. Hey, it's just, she's not a big town mayor. Why don't you leave her alone?
I may not be a big time city lawyer.
Have you ever driven drunk, either of you?
I drink all the time. See, I'm the last of my people. Once I die in my generation, the Zoomers.
Call back.
Thank you. Oh, you have a picture of her?
Yeah, but it's not loading.
Oh,
Would it load?
usually it does really quick, so that's why I said. Once I die out.
There you go.
Oh, well, here we go. Oh, there she is. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, but she's really pretty, actually. That's a bad
Yeah,
picture of her.
Dyed pink hair
Yeah.
for a mayor. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, she's really kind of sexy, actually, but obviously an idiot. Like I said. I mean, what do you, she was swerving. So they stopped her. Anyway, once I die out, people won't drink and drive anymore. So cops usually let me go because I'm older. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because this is what we were taught in school, because drunk driving just wasn't a thing. I mean, they said you shouldn't drive drunk, but if you can't get a cab, just be careful. So it wasn't the law.
It wasn't the top priority. Back then, you guys didn't even have seatbelts.
It's
They were
true.
like, first, let's get the seatbelts figured
They had
out.
'em. They
then
had
we'll
'em.
get to what they're drinking.
Yeah, they had them, but you didn't have to use them. I never used them. That's why I still don't use them now sometimes. You just, we were taught to drive without seatbelts and drinking. and that was just the plan. And so I think like if once I die, because nowadays people your age, they know to take Ubers. They know not to drink and drive. Well, you guys both grew up in the city, so it's different.
Yep.
But I think people in the suburbs know, like my nephew knows to not drink and drive. And that's good. So, but I'm grandfathered in where it's perfectly acceptable.
This will be evidence.
Yes,
when you hit
I
your
was just
family.
wondering if anybody was buying it.
Wait, Rebecca, have you drunk drived?
Literally just once. I was like tipsy more than drunk, but I did a show in Long Island and like they were foisting a lot of free drinks on us, and I was like, I don't want to
This was
drink.
Governors for sure.
Oh, that's how you get spots there.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. That's James. Are you talking about James?
No, it was just an indie show.
Oh.
But
Indians.
I haven't seen that. I'd like to perform that. It was on a reservation.
No, it was a show. You wouldn't want to do this show, but
No, you don't know that. We like doing weird
okay.
shows.
If you want to perform at a restaurant for like 10 drunk women,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
That's where I usually perform anyway.
okay, we'll connect you to the booker. But
You know who would perform there? Who would love it? Mark Norman. That guy will perform anywhere he's asked to perform. It's incredible how easily you can get Mark Norman to perform at a function
That's right.
or a restaurant. The guy just loves performing.
Love the stage.
He will perform anywhere. It's not even about the money. He's the real deal.
By the way, check out him and Sal Cuse's new short film, Page to Stage, episode 2,
It's fantastic.
which I am in.
That's right. That's right. That was exciting.
Yeah.
It was exciting when they put your name up there, like in 60 minutes.
Very
Or
cool.
like in Spinal Tap.
Yeah. You put my name on screen, even though I said almost nothing, but it's still nice. Nice
Oh,
to
no.
recognize that I
It
was
does-
there.
Fuck that saying nothing. I mean, it's just, it's beautiful.
Me and Mark and Tom Papa just
It's
hanging out in the hallway.
Goddamn
It
exciting
was
it
cool.
was. Yeah.
It is really good. Very fascinating.
This is how I've made my entire career, by just being in the background of stuff and not saying anything. You know, like always just being around. When you leave the house, good things happen. And I have to keep telling myself that because I don't like to leave the house because I love TV. I still have cable. And but yeah, this thing is great. We went to the premiere of it, the screening, and it's so good. I just talked to that kid Timmy. He just Instagrammed me. He's like, "Hey, it was really great meeting," and I hadn't seen it. And I was just like, "Hey, the editing was fantastic. It was a great show." He's like, "Thank you so much." But it was really, really good.
Very good.
It's Mark starting a joke and how he crafts it, and he's trying to do this thing. It was very entertaining, and it was really good that Alan was in it. That was exciting.
People called it the highlight of the whole thing.
Yeah,
nice.
that was kind of the quote.
A lot of
the
people are
next day.
saying,
People are saying, "Play enjoyed by all."
play enjoyed by all. The reviews speak for themselves.
Yeah, so that was really good. So yeah, Mark Norman is the real. I just texted him and Sam today because I was at a bar where they're serving Bodega Cat whiskey,
That's great.
and they were very excited because they have their own whiskey. You know about this already.
Um,
Seems like you know a lot more than you're leading on.
I work for a podcast network, so I get all of the news.
What's the podcast network?
Gas Digital.
Oh, you work at Gas Digital.
I do.
Oh, so you know Amanda Gale really well and that girl Karen because they do their podcast there, right?
I wouldn't say really well, but yeah, I'm aware of them.
Who else is on that network? That's Luis Gomez, right? That's his network.
Yep.
Are you dating him?
No,
Well, the way you're saying it, you're like, I can't really talk about it because I'm dating the person that owns it. That's what it seemed like, right? Wait, doesn't Becky Owen have his podcast there too? Or does he not do it anymore?
He doesn't do it anymore, but when he had it, it was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just talking to Amanda yesterday and I was like, your podcast, I hate it. But because I don't know what when they show it's just hilarious. Her and Karen just like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Uh-huh.
It's like just noise because they're just talking over each other. But I get it. And that's the fun of the podcast, right? That's the podcast they decide to do. But it's so good looking. It's so pristine looking. That studio they have and the sound quality. I'm very jealous of it. How'd you get the job there?
Just word of mouth.
Look, if you don't want to talk about it, it's all right. I
That,
don't feel you're holding back. You said you're socially awkward, so
yes.
it's funny. But I love that I got to see her do comedy, right?
Yeah.
I bet you're hilarious.
I'm
Are you a good joke writer?
I'm told I'm a good joke writer.
He's a good donor.
The what?
She is.
She's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. This guy is pretty good. As a matter of fact, that's what I want to say. Alon Altman, ladies and gentlemen, who performs at this club at the Comedy Cellar and has been opening for the great Modi. And when I say the great Modi, I'm talking about he is doing, almost arenas opening for him and doing really well. and it's very exciting, and I'm very happy for Alon. What do you have coming up? We're not ending the show, but I was just asking.
Well, nothing coming up. So, there's a little lull here for Passover.
Right, of course. Well, yeah, if you're opening for Modi, then there's definitely going to be a lull.
No, he's going to be in Europe for a while. So like, I think that there's no dates like in the near future with him.
Yeah, but you always have stuff. You're performing all the time.
I got stuff. I'm a wheeler dealer. Yeah.
What about you, Rebecca? Where are you going to be? I mean, we'll do this at the end of the show, but I'm just curious.
I don't know. I guess like I don't know if I have any like big shows coming up, but I'm doing next Tuesday. You can see me at Kelly's Bar in Astoria. I don't know.
You know that QED bar in Astoria? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So get this, right? My neighbor, my next door neighbor, next door, they see him in the elevator all the time. They got a big dog. He's like, "Oh, you should check out my niece. She does comedy." So year after year, he's like, "Yeah, you should check out. You hear about my niece?" I'm like, "No." And then I looked her up, and I'm like, and she bought that bar. I think her name's Hannah something.
Sure, yeah.
Hannah Lieberman.
Yeah.
Another Jewish club owner.
He's like, yeah, he bought a bar in Astoria, and I'm like,
well, it's not a bar. It's a comedy venue, performing space kind of.
Where'd she get money to do that?
It's Astoria.
I was so jealous and angry when I heard this, and dismissive of her. And now I have to ask her uncle if you think I can work there?
Yeah, put a word in for me.
Yeah. Is it a good place? Is it still going? I mean, now that she's bought it, do you guys know it? Will you be able to work there? Am I asking too many questions?
I haven't been there in a long time. How is it? Have you been there?
Yeah, I think it's like it's a fun spot.
Rebecca will be performing in the Princeton Chabad House next month. Nice one.
I have done some all Jewish shows. They're fun. You get to go super niche.
Yeah, he does that too.
Yeah, I don't go very niche when I do those kind of shows because sometimes you feel like they hear a lot of the niche stuff. Sure. So I try to be more broad. But I just I was with Modi in Connecticut. We were doing this place called the Bushnell. It's a big theater, really nice in Hartford, Connecticut. And it went great. And after the show, I went into the lobby to get some adulation from my fans. Because, like comedians we're kind of like pilots. Like after a show's over, we stand in the front. We wait for people to say thank you.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, we like that.
I do not like that.
We force ourselves in front of them. So people are saying, "Oh, that was really funny. We loved you." All that kind of stuff. It's really nice, right? And then this girl comes up to me and she's like, "I thought you were really, really funny." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And she's like, "But I just want to say, I really had a problem with one of your jokes."
Oh my God!
Oh, geez. She's like, "I didn't like that you had a joke that insinuated that perpetuated the stereotype that Jews are cheap." She said, "In these times, with what we're going through right now, I really think it is wrong to talk about stereotypes like that can be so hurtful." And meanwhile, like there's people waiting to take pictures with me, and I have to listen to this, and I'm trying to yeah, okay. And I want to combat her because I think she's totally wrong.
You're totally wrong. You're like, sweetie, it's the basis of all comedy that Jews are cheap. It's like how a comedy started. It's the stereotype.
But also, first of all, if there's any time to play on a Jewish stereotype, it would be in an audience of 90%.
They know our perception.
That would be like telling a black comic, "Don't say the N-word when you're at the Apollo." Like it's for your audience. You can do it. You're not doing it for a white audience. It's like it's okay now, here. We're amongst ourselves.
Don't do that. Now, white guys drive like this.
But also, my joke wasn't like saying like Jews are cheap. It was like making fun of people who believe that Jews are cheap. She just heard the buzzword and got it all into her head.
This happened to me at that. I was going to say stupid, but that Don't Tell Mama show that girl always gets mad at me for. I got up there first and I said something about don't raise your as the guy said it was Jewish. Oh, don't raise your hand. They might find you. She goes, "Boo! You shouldn't talk about Jews." And I'm like, what is happening? Is that annoying?
The alarm bells go off. They hear the buzzword and they can't even think
the
about
fact
what the
that
joke
that's
meant,
a buzzword at this point. I mean, this is a mess. A week later, my favorite line: the kid from Curb Your Enthusiasm, "Get a life, Jews." I use that all the time. It makes me happy when I watch that all the time. There, put it up. Yeah, that's a mess. You know what the funny thing is? I do not. It's against my entire personality, but I do not like going after and talking to the crowd. I hate it. I feel very uncomfortable and I don't care about the accolades, which makes no sense considering the kind of person I normally am.
Yeah.
I think because for so long I was so bad that, and I opened for so many good people, it was just embarrassing, so I think I just stopped, and now I am still that way where I just don't want to. But I've been told sometimes they make you go out and talk to the crowd. Like even Attell now knows he has to go out and talk and take pictures, which is something he never wanted to do.
Well, Modi does a meet and greet, so people pay
Right? No, that's
extra,
different. That's different.
and they wait
Yes.
around. They get special wristbands. They take
No,
a
that I'm
photo
talking
on
about
stage,
you and me in a regular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love it either, but it's like you want to get followers. If you have a good set, especially if you're out there, you could say follow my Instagram, and it does help.
Yeah. No, I know. I just don't like it, and I don't know. And then a lot of times the people you open for say, please come out. You have to come out. Like they want you to, and I'm just embarrassed.
Yeah, that's nice that they want you to be part of it.
Yeah, but you know what? The other problem is that Attell has been so mean to me during doing that I think that also had something to do with it too. He's really mean to me, and I'm his best friend. We're going out for dinner tomorrow.
Why do we hurt the ones we love?
Well, God, I've known him for so long. I've known him for almost 40 years. Just thinking about it now.
Third grade. It's amazing.
Well, you know what's the best is I just reconnected with this very old girlfriend. She's very old. No, from a long time ago.
I just connected with my high school girlfriend, senior.
She's still she lives in London now. So I wanted to go meet Sarah and meet her when she's there in London. I'm getting her tickets because I'm like, no, you got to meet this girl because she used to work with David Tell at the Discovery Channel when he worked at the Discovery Channel. Like, you got to meet her, and dated me. She's going to want this knowledge.
Yeah.
Because this before me and Sarah even met. Silverman we're talking about. But this girl worked with David Tell when he invented Shark Week, which he does not take credit for. And maybe he didn't invent it, but he was in the room when they came up with the plan. He gets so angry. Who would get angry at that? Why would he want to take credit for that? It's hilarious.
That's good. That's a really good tidbit.
I know. So, this is somebody that is interesting. Okay. Why don't, Mike, we go to the slides? Now, Alon and everybody in the chat room and anybody who's watching us today, because we said we were going to have some Billy Joel trivia, and I apologize in advance, Rebecca, that this will not be for you. But please, maybe there's some, but I made it difficult.
This is so funny because whenever I see Dan Natterman, he's always like, I went on the podcast, and you guys are like, oh, we're going to do Guess That Tune with Billy Joel, and it's all these songs. I don't know. You do An Innocent Man, I might know it, but
we had to make it difficult because the people that were here knew it was too easy because we immediately, I think the first one was Uptown Girl, and even just the we're going to know it right away. So we had to make it difficult. So, okay, well, here's the first one. In a track from Billy's first solo album, Cold Spring Harbor, he states that a certain woman is the best place to go when he cries. What is this person's name?
Judy.
That is correct. If you go to the next slide, Mike, I even gave you choices just in case you didn't know. And if you go to the next slide, the answer is Judy. We're talking about why. Judy, why? Opens with the line, of all the people in the world that I know, you're the best place to go when I cry.
You made the multiple choice too easy because that's the only one that rhymes kind of with cry.
Judy?
Jude, I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
She is good.
Get her off the show.
What a find.
Here's a trivia thing about that song. It made our top 64 and Piano Man didn't. It was the only song in our top 64 that Instagram didn't even have a musical clip.
Really?
Every other song, even the obscure ones, they had, but not this one.
Well, is this the one that I don't like the middle? Is that one? Oh, that's Tomorrow's Today? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize again about this, but if you have funny stuff to say, please say it. All right, here's the next one. In Piano Man, the chart-topping hit from 1963, same name, Billy mentions the names of several people. Who is not one of them?
All right,
now let's let her give it a try because this is a.
I'm gonna rule out Davey, who was in the Navy, right? That's my contribution.
That's correct.
It's not. Sorry, it is not Davey.
Right.
I'm gonna guess. I'm guessing John.
Are you sure? Because John kind of rhymes with Piano Man. So it probably is in the song.
The comments that Mike is pinning are saying George, so I'm going to say George.
Marcy, Catalina, Haley from London. Hi, Haley. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to see her tomorrow. JWB 671 from Hawaii. Alan from that's Italian Staying Out, right? From Tampa.
Yeah.
Look at all these people.
Now
Rich Duffy. Oh my God, Rich! I was just thinking about you today. He said Ringo. But yes, the answer is George. According to the lyrics, John is a bartender. Paul is a real estate novelist, whatever that is, who never had time for a wife. And Davey, as you were correct, is still in the Navy and probably will be for life. No one named George is mentioned in the song. Hi, Rich. It's so nice to see you. I really was thinking of you today, and he is my friend from elementary school, and I love him. And he moved to California, and I hate it because, Rich, I was trying to find somebody to hang out with on Friday in the Edison area, and I was like, oh, I wish he still lived around here. It would be a good day to see him. But anyway, let's go on. Here we go. In the Ballad of Billy the Kid, also on the Piano Man album, Billy refers to both the real-life Billy the Kid and a more modern version of the gunslinging outlaw. Several U.S. locales are mentioned in the song, which is not one of them.
Or they are all mentioned.
I'm guessing they're all mentioned.
Alon?
It's funny because I was gonna say not Tombstone, Arizona, but now I'm like, wait, is that in the song?
That's the fun of the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tombstone, Arizona.
Mike, go to the Marcy says they're all mentioned. Mike, go to the next one. They have the answer. It is Tombstone, Arizona.
All right.
Marcy got it wrong. That's fucked up.
That's bad.
She's
Marcy,
our biggest fan.
You're not allowed to listen to the podcast.
William Bonney, a.k.a. Billy the Kid, was from Wheeling, West Virginia. The first line of the song refers to that fact. In the last verse of the song, Billy mentions a kid from Oyster Bay, Long Island, which is the state of New York. There's no mention of Tombstone in the song. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay. In Street Life Serenader, the almost title track from 1974, Street Life Serenade, Billy mentions a particular U.S. president. Which one?
I know. Should I guess?
Well, let's let the chat guess.
William Henry Harrison.
That is completely correct.
How does she know it?
He died in 40 days.
You doing The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Here's
we are
the
the mediocre presidents.
Here's some of the thing we said. Marcy says Eisenhower. Is anybody else? We have Nixon, Eisenhower, Kennedy, or Truman. Do you want to take a guess?
I'm gonna guess Eisenhower.
Just because Marcy said it?
Well, it seems like a hard
Marcy got the last one wrong.
It seems like a hard lyrical thing to fit into the meter of a song.
Right, and Serenader, Eisenhower.
And Judy said...
Oh, wait. Maybe it's not.
And Judy said Lincoln. What the...
Well, now we're guessing which one is in the song, not which one is not.
Well,
yeah,
so you messed it up by putting all the... You're like leading it with like all the options are wrong.
Go to the next one, Mike. The answer is, which Ilana already guessed, I think, Eisenhower. He knew.
Child of Eisenhower.
So I did get it right.
Yes, Billy.
Yeah,
you totally got it right.
Yeah.
I was leading you on that perhaps you would not. I was what do you call it? Scamming you in a way. Billy refers to the Street Life vocals featured in the song as Child of Eisenhower, New World Celebrator. Correct. Catalina just says, I just know that Nixon, Kennedy, and Truman are named and we didn't start the fire. Catalina is from Chile. Look at our international podcast. It's incredible.
A former president of Chile, Dave.
It's obviously
Rodrigo Barragan. Just making up a name.
Pinochet? Was he there?
I don't know. Catalina? Do you know?
He's a dictator, though. Maybe not a president.
Okay. Here we go. The line. What is this? Roberta is sung directly to a woman named Roberta. What does she do for a living?
She owns that pizzeria.
Which one?
Oh, Roberta's.
Where's that?
Bushwick.
Oh, is that true? Oh, I didn't know.
It's good.
That is not one of the answers, unfortunately. So what do you want to take a guess at, Rebecca?
Waitress feels like peak Billy Joel to me.
Doesn't it though? It does sound like peak Billy Joel, but this is early Billy Joel before.
Oh, so it's hardcore. So she's a stripper. Because that's like the edgier version of being a waitress.
That's right. Hallie got it completely correct.
I thought of her as a prostitute, not a stripper.
Yeah. So you have to make your own assumption. So it says, you say you know me, but I see only what you're paid to show me, which would definitely be, well, it could be a stripper too, is an early indication that Roberta is a stripper. A later line, I'd ask you over, but I can't afford you, seems to suggest that Roberta may dabble in prostitution as well.
It's like the movie Honora.
I was just going to say that. It's exactly
and
Honora.
You could sing Honora to the tune of Roberta.
A stripper that had, Marcy said he said it in an interview with Sirius XM. That she was a hooker, you're saying, as Rich Duffy says.
All caps, Marcy. We hear you, Marcy. Jeez.
But she's mad because we called her out on the last one.
Hooker Jerry.
She's a hooker, Jerry. What's the next one? Which of the following people is not mentioned in Say Goodbye to Hollywood?
Ooh.
That's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I knew I'd get you sooner or later.
I have a guess.
Well, Verizon just texted me I'm out of data.
Not now, Verizon.
Verizon.
I'm going to guess Tommy.
Nice. That's the correct answer. What made you guess that?
I
thought it was Bobby.
No, the song opens with the line, Bobby's driving through the city tonight.
I thought Johnny was driving through the city
A
tonight.
later line informs us that Johnny's taking care of things for a while. No Tommy in sight.
Oh.
Italian Stallion got it. He's the only one. And Rebecca,
yeah.
that was very impressive.
Just going off my gut of what I know of Billy Joel.
It's very impressive.
Italian names.
It's Italian names, yeah.
She's good. She's good. All right, James, one of our favorite songs, seems to be about a childhood friend of Billy's who is no longer part of his life. What profession does Billy hope that James has taken up? I will wait for Alon's response on this.
That's funny. It's one of my favorites, right? What job does he hope he is?
He mentions it twice in the song.
Well, he's pursued a career in he pursued education, so like a teacher?
Nope.
Architect?
I think you can go to the next one, Mike. There's some
Got artistic dreams.
multiple choice. Haley says a gynecologist. No, it's not a gynecologist. Italian Stallion Owl.
He spelled it in the British way with the AE. Aluminium.
Italian Stallion Owl put writer ?
What's
And-
a sculptor?
I was thinking writer.
A sculptor? Oh, I guess it's supposed to be sculptor. You were thinking writer.
Yeah.
Writer is the correct answer. You go to the next one, Mike. Billy asked, will you ever write your masterpiece? And later, when will you write your masterpiece?
Yeah.
So yes, he wants him to be a writer. Did you
That would have been my
We're
guess.
gonna
Yeah.
go with that. All right. Here we go with a little
that we're going chronologically here.
I guess
We have many more albums to go.
little Goodnight Saigon action.
We should way ahead after I said that.
Sorry. Which of the following names do not belong to one of the Marines referred to the song? Referred to in the song. I'm pretty sure this is an easy one for you.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, would you like to take a stab, or our audience? The question again, in the Goodnight Saigon, which of the following names does not belong to one of the Marines referred to in the song?
I'm guessing Morrison.
She's killing it.
Yeah.
She's killing it. That is the correct answer.
Or your SAT scores.
Alan got it. Anonymous got it.
2020.
No, she's so young that this is when they had it on a 2,400 point scale.
Oh, right. I only had a
And
1600.
you're so old when you had it before 1,600 was a thing.
Well, I only got an 800.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how I got to school. If my nieces were like, "But how did Uncle David?"
Awkward.
Well, that's it was. I got an 800. Took it 3 fucking times, and I only got half. And you get 200, as you know, for putting your name on the paper. So my nieces, when they were when they were talking to my sister when they were younger. But then how did Uncle David get into college? And she goes, it's a personal interview. He's very charming. Because it was not based on grades. Because remember, I teach at a university now, and they ask for my transcript. And I'm like, oh, that school burned down. And he's like, where'd you go? It's right near Cornell. It's a good school like Ithaca. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't burn down. I was there last week with my daughter. Oh, it didn't? I was told that it had. Yeah, it was really bad, really bad. Anyway, yes, no... there's a later reference to the Doors, but no Marine named Morrison. Okay. Christy Lee, your favorite song of all
Did
time.
not make the top 60.
On an Innocent Man is the worst song. It's about a jazz. Sorry, I was ready to say saxophone at the same time. It was about a jazz saxophonist who gets his heart broken by a manipulative woman. Her name is the title of the song, but what's his name as far as Billy remembers? Oh, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Here are the choices for everybody. We have Al, Joe, Bill, and John. I'm waiting just for a little bit. Would you like to take a guess?
My guess is Al.
Why?
It just feels like a classic, like anonymous name, because like John and Joe are too obvious. Bill
Marcy's saying Bill.
Well,
Italian Style says no clue on this one. We're getting them.
No, he doesn't know.
We're doing good.
Wow.
If the guy's name was Bill and the singer's name is Billy Joel and he doesn't remember, I mean, come on, what does he have? Brain damage?
Good point.
He might. He boxed when he was a kid.
So, to the question, an Innocent Man about a jazz or Christy Lee rather, about a jazz saxophonist who gets his heart broken by a manipulative woman. Her name is the title, but what's his name as far as Billy remembers? Billy states he doesn't remember the man's real name. The closest he gets to identifying him in the song is the man's name I don't remember. He was always Joe to me.
And I think that was her nickname for Billy.
I think that was my next. Damn it. I think that. Oh, no, I didn't have that one. I think I made that too. Yeah. I tried to take out the ones that were too easy.
She always fantasized about
That's why
Joe
we
Cocker,
skipped ahead.
So
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
She fantasized about dating Joe Cocker?
Maybe Joe Jackson.
They're all disgusting. Well, yeah, right. Look at her track record. Okay. Just 2 more. Are you enjoying yourself? Is this fun?
Yeah, this is fun.
All right, cool.
Is this fun? You're kind of going blind at it, but
she's good though.
You're doing pretty good.
Okay, Keeping the Faith. This will be tough. The final track on an instrument contains a reference to a relative of Billy's. Which one?
I can guess. I'll let everyone guess.
I think if you go to the next one, there's choices. His father, his brother, his mother, or his sister. We're talking about Keeping the Faith. Who does Billy reference? Which family member?
I'm going to say mother.
That is an excellent guess because he mentions his mother a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Second guess would be father, but
Marcy says father. Alan says father. Father is the Mike. Is it there? The correct answer. Yes. I took a fresh pack of Luckies and a mint called Sen. My old man's Trojans and his Old Spice aftershave. My old man.
Me and my dad, we share condoms.
Gross. No other relations are mentioned in the song. So yes, my old man's Trojans and his Old Spice aftershave.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, this last one is really interesting. Here we go. Billy refers to a rather large number of real people by name, and we didn't start the fire. Harry Truman's the first person he names. Who is the last person that Billy Joel names in We Didn't Start the Fire? This is a quality final question. Here are some choices. Who's the last person?
Well, it's one of two for sure. Not Vanna White. It's not George Bush. I think it's Bernie Getz.
Let's see if anybody. Catalina says Bernie Getz. Marcy says Vanna White. Italian Stallion says Bernie Getz. A week late says Sally Ride. The correct answer, Mike, is Bernie Getz. Alon gets it again. The third to last song in the line is Foreign Debts, Homeless Vets, AIDS Crack, Bernie Getz. The final two new lines are Hypodermics on the Shores, Chinese under martial law, Rock and Roll the Cola Wars, I Can't Take It Anymore, contain no names. So Getz is the last person named in the song. Yep. Alon killed it, as he should, being the co-host to the Billy Joel A to Z podcast. Aunt Judy mentioned Jack Daniels for some reason. I guess that's she's obsessed with her Jack Daniels. In fact, it's probably the reason she's still alive. She's in a lot of pain. She's not feeling well because she's older. But Jack Daniels keeps her going. Captain Jack keeps her going.
I think that was heroin, but still, I
Well,
saw a video on Twitter yesterday which was showing bacteria under a microscope, like thousands, millions of bacteria are swimming around. Then they put a drop of Jack Daniels whiskey, or just whiskey in general. I don't know if it was a certain brand, into the slide that had all of the bacteria, and they just instantly go dead. Like right away, it just completely kills all the bacteria. So it is keeping her alive.
It makes so much sense. We know that whiskey is probably good for you in some way. It's just taking it to excess that's always the problem. Like we know red wine could be good for you, but if you drink a bottle, it's probably bad, So that's the issue.
You know Marge's famous red wine line?
No.
She said, I've been drinking a glass of red wine every day. I know they say you should drink 2, but I just can't drink that much.
Is that the one where they go to the James Bond villain one? I love that one. When he buys them the Denver Broncos. Oh, Marge, you just don't understand football. Yeah.
Then they wanted to
that hammock world. Oh, you mean the hammock district?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, on 4th.
Yeah. That's also on 4th. Italian Town, so you guys rock. Still so grateful you guys did the podcast. Thank you so much. Anonymous said, me too. And JWB says, my mom survives on oxys.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I remember that. She just pulls up the wine because she's bored because it's a self-cleaning house. You saw it? You know the episode?
Yeah. Scorpio Hills.
Okay.
She knows the closing theme song.
We love her. I would never have guessed that I would have liked you so much when I first came in because you were afraid of me, for number one, because I was very boisterous when I came in because I was guns blazing, ready to do the show. So, and because you were so shy, I think I kept coming at you because I'm a bully. But you are a delight.
Oh, thank you.
We already know you're a delight.
And so are you, Dave.
And jury's still out on Mike. But no, it's been really fun having you on the show, and I love that the fact that you love The Simpsons and you got some Billy Joel answers and you thought out the process, and we can trace your roots to comedy. I fucking thank you because I do bring in a lot of young people, whether boys or girls, because I am fascinated, and I bring in older guys too, friends that I've known for a long time or whatever. Remember that incredible Joey Cola one we took for 2 hours?
Yes.
Mike, that was like one of my favorite podcasts ever because we met in the 80s doing comedy, and we just talked for hours. But I really do like bringing in new comics. I want another background, and me and Chris Murphy talk about this all the time. And Judy says, my godson's the greatest. Thank you. But we're always talking about like they shouldn't be in comedy because they don't even know the history of comedy. We worship people that know the history of comedy. We're not saying as old men like you have to know everything, but we want there to be we want you to have. We want to know why you're in comedy. Do you just want to be in the movies? Do you just want to get famous? I think that's the thing. Now, for me, that's all I wanted. I didn't care about comedy, but that's why I don't do it very much. But we need to know, like, when there's younger people around, like that, they really just appreciate the history of stand-up comedy. I have a friend, Wayne Fetterman, who wrote a book called The History of Stand-Up Comedy. So, we talk a lot. I've had him on the show all the time. He's incredible. He's a professor at USC teaching the history of stand-up comedy. The book is called The History of Stand-Up Comedy, from Mark Twain to Dave Chappelle. So, he called me when he was writing the book asking questions about the history of the Comedy Cellar. How it all started. Why is it famous? Because it wasn't always this.
It was an opium den.
but we like that kind of stuff, and that's why a lot of times, even I guess as old men, we love talking about the improv, and it is funny. I like when the younger people appreciate those stories, because it meant a lot to us when me and Attell and even Murphy were just starting out. We'd go to the improv, we'd go to the diner after with these guys. They were probably only 5 years older than us, 5 to 7 years older, but they were already established. And hanging out with them was just the best time because they'd make us laugh so hard at the diner after, which was the true rite of passage, which isn't a thing anymore, I guess. So it just means a lot to us, I guess. I don't know. So I appreciate you, is what I'm saying, and that you have a basis, even if it's Emo Phillips, which is the most hilarious reference maybe anyone's ever said anywhere. You know, he comes to this club sometimes, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, he was here within the last year.
Yeah, he's still around and alive, and he was so popular when I was just starting out. He was definitely like not a hero, but somebody who was at a level I was interested in. He was on David Letterman all the time. David Letterman had all the comics that we grew up on, the later ones like George Miller and the guy who's in Seinfeld as a doorman. He's
Larry Miller.
George Miller is the director. Larry Miller. There was another George comic, Richard Lewis. He would have those guys who were, newer comics that they were like the Sam Morril, Mark Norms of their time. So we worshiped them growing up. And, so Emo was definitely part of that crowd. I remember the first time he was on Letterman. Oh, Letterman, he goes, what nationality are you? He goes, I'm Finnish. He goes, you certainly are. And he thought that would be the end of his career, but it turned out the guy had a lot of chutzpah and he just went with it. And he was around much longer than you would think with a Yakov Smirnoff-like act.
Oh, I wouldn't say. I mean, he's weird in how he delivers, but his jokes are really well written.
No, exactly. But that's
as
the
are
thing.
Yakov Smirnoff's.
No,
I assume. I haven't heard his act.
Well, they country.
40 years.
But so you appreciate people like that are that lasted much longer than the initial like I'm a weirdo and I'm
like
delivering
a spiritual successor to like Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I think he only wanted to be a comic, so I don't think he was trying to freak anybody out. I mean, he seems normal when he comes into the club. I was never sure. I had never met him before. It was Pee Wee Herman I went to go see at the Carnegie Hall. And they were all, because all these guys were on Letterman late night when he was on at 12:30 at night. And I remember we went to go see him at Carnegie Hall, and everybody's yelling out, "Where's Dave? Where's Dave?" And then he just said, "Dave is the reason I'm here tonight." Like he got it, and everybody just clapped.
He paid the respect.
Yeah.
I saw Pee Wee one time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was at a porno theater. I'll never forget.
Oh, well, it was funny. We used to go to see, and that's why it was funny when Sarah, we saw Sandra Bernhard. Me and my friend Lawrence saw Sandra Bernhard down in the East Village doing a one-person show. And how did two straight guys, go to see this, lesbian comic back in the day because she was so funny on Letterman. It normally wouldn't be in a couple guys from Jersey's wheelhouse. But she was so funny on Letterman, so we went to see her, and she was terrific. And then I remember when Silverman was doing Jesus is Magic, and she was on Conan all the time, just the way Sandra Bernhard was. So there were guys in the audience, like if I was younger, we would have gone to see Sarah Silverman do Jesus is Magic. Because again, I'm just pointing out that there weren't a lot of women in comedy. I mean, your favorite Rita Rudner for some reason, but guys weren't going to see women do comedy,
but certain ones crossed over. I saw Jesus Magic in movie theaters.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, so she was at the Zipper Theater. I remember because it was produced by this guy Ron Delsner, who I don't know if you're too young to remember, but this guy produced every rock show in the history of shows when we were growing up. Produced by Ron Delsner, would be on the radio. Foreigners coming to the Civic Arena, produced Ron Delsner Productions. And then meeting him was like the most exciting thing ever, which makes no sense. You just meet this guy who's an old man, and you're like, oh my God, it's Ron Delsner. But yeah, it's Anonymous says Jesus is Magic is one of my favorite specials ever.
Yeah, really good. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Oh, Marcy just said I haven't seen Jesus is Magic, and now she's going to be ejected from the chat room. No.
I know. When life gives you AIDS, make lemonades.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Completely.
Yeah, I helped her with that. I played the ass the hole that did the singing. I think it was a Yes song or something that came out of her ass, or her vagina was talking.
I've seen All Good People.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Love the history of comedy, and I appreciate that you do or will and talk about it. And good. Rebecca Kaplan, everybody. Alon Altman. We already said nobody seems to have anything to plug. I know Mike does. I know in 2 weeks you're going to be in Texas.
Oh yeah, the 18th and 19th, I'll be at Big Laughs in Fort Worth.
Big Laughs in Fort Worth.
Cool.
I will be nowhere except here next week, where my guest will be mayoral candidate Deidre Levy. There's all these, our friends are running for mayor.
I thought you were going to say Corinne
Fisher, exactly. But no, this is another one, Deidre Levy. I just met her.
Her enemy.
Yes, I have no problems with that. But then, of course, we have to ask Corinne to come in at some point.
Of course.
But she's probably a tough interview. She's a tough nut to crack just as a friend, So I'm a little nervous. She makes me nervous. But this girl is really nice. I met her at a bar. She was getting signatures. She had her dog with her. I think she might be half Jewish, half Filipino. She might have been a friend of Ryan DeCallis, but I'm not sure. But she was running for mayor, and it's exciting to have people that are running for mayor. This election, as I was telling you, right? This is earlier. She could win because this election is messed up. It is messed up. The current mayor is never going to win. He's running on the independent ticket already because he's lost the Democratic Party. Andrew Cuomo's the other one, and people hate him. So there's really no reason that Corinne Fisher or this girl, Deidre Levy, woman, could not possibly win out of nowhere. It's going to be probably somebody we never heard of. And people are going to want to change, and they're going to want an anti-Trump, and because it's New York City. And who knows? And if we have her on, that's good for me. I can finally get rid of these parades.
Yeah, and by doing your show, you're the kingmaker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why Rebecca's going to be huge in the business. That's how else did you get to open for Modi? Coming on this show.
That's right.
How do you think Mike gets to perform in Texas? This show.
Yeah, all your listeners, that letter writing campaign.
That's right.
It worked.
Well, I told her, like, do you have people that watch that live in Manhattan? Huh. I guess everybody's from London, Hawaii, Kentucky.
Well, Aunt Judy's coming into Manhattan for her Seder.
If not for Anonymous, we were in big trouble. But no, of course we'll have. But that should be interesting. And she's also a teacher. And so she's on the talking about education. Of course, I love talking about that. She's a special education teacher, which means she's doing God's work because that sucks. I can't picture myself ever being that patient or calm.
Mm-hmm.
And so good for her. Anyway, that's our guest next week. Make sure you come out to the Comedy Cellar to see awesome comedy. I'll be here watching it tomorrow. Zattel will be on the Late Show again. So please always come down to the Comedy Cellar and support comedy. And we'll see you next week right here in studio on Comedy Cellar Tuesdays with Dave Juskow and Mike Suarez. Good night, everybody.